You're listening to the Board Game Snobs podcast, a ridiculous podcast with ridiculous hosts that discuss ridiculous things. And any mention of board games is purely coincidental. And so, without further ado, and with a heavy dollop of shame and embarrassment on my part, I give you the Board Game Snobs.
And go.
Welcome to this special episode.
What is this special episode? We've never done this before.
What have we not done?
We're after midnight.
This is late night.
After midnight.
Now, why are you making us do this again?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the after hours.
This is like, whenever they make a code name, so they make after dark code names.
Well, at least, is my mic on for this?
Your mic is on for this, unfortunately.
I'm just making sure.
Why are you interrupting our flow?
We gotta whisper because it's after dark.
I'm trying to be integrated within the flow.
We're still in our hotel room, even though this is 3 weeks later. This is 3 weeks after BGG Spring.
We've been squatting at this La Quinta.
We just run from room to room when they open the doors and we sneak in there and they don't see us.
The housekeepers don't say nothing.
They don't see nothing.
Can I get more of them cake cups? Can I get some more sugar?
I just gotta stay caffeinated. And this is the After Hours edition. First time ever. I'm exhausted after a long day of gaming.
I know I'm exhausted.
It's 1 o'clock.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Jesus.
And we just got through playing 4 games of a high society.
It's nice.
And it's still a freaking amazing game.
I'm glad. As soon as Chad Chasson and Jay and
Jason
and
Jason go true.
Bruno.
Bruno.
They all said that. Well, Chad hadn't played it before.
Chad had not?
Nor had Jason. That's why I went and got it.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm introducing culture.
You did quite well.
So let me say. So far I've introduced Barrage to him. And what did we play the other day? Oh, Moonrakers.
Crescent City Cargo.
And High Society. I have
You're batting 1,000.
I've influenced him so much.
You're batting 1,000.
He's maxed influence by me.
As he should be, because those are 4 solid games.
Solid.
So this evening, we were fortunate enough to be able to play some games we've played before.
Repeats.
We discussed Moonrakers on a previous podcast,
which is awesome.
We played Crescent City Cargo.
Hey, Jason Dinger.
Designer.
Speaking of designers, I saw Eric Lang. He walked by the table.
Who?
Eric Lang.
Eric Lang of
Simon fame.
Come on.
He walked by and looked at us.
He looked at you?
Yeah, because I was staring at him.
Why'd you stare at him?
I couldn't tell if it was Eric Lang. He looked like Eric Lang, but I kept staring, and then when he got closer, I realized it was Eric Lang. Oh. But by then, I locked eyes.
He's pretty distinctive. He's tall and got some like tall hair.
He's very thin.
I
wonder if he's vegan.
I bet he's vegan. He seems veganish to me.
What's that supposed to mean?
I mean, I don't know. He's thin. He looks thin and healthy, so that just means veganish to me. If you're thin and healthy, are you a vegan, Jerry?
No.
You're kind of thin and healthy.
I ain't thin. I'm all right.
You're thinnish.
He's chunky.
A little bit chunky.
Thinnish.
A little bit chunky. I've been taking these.
You got a little belly, but you're thin.
The belly's been because I got retaining water. I'm taking pills.
You're retaining water?
Yeah, I got that tumor thing going on.
It's not a tumor. Sorry, it's not a tumor.
No,
don't worry.
No, it is a tumor.
Oh, no, it is a tumor.
And they gave me these pills I got to take for blood pressure. And so it's like I'm gaining weight, just water weight, but it comes and goes. So like I'll gain 10 pounds and I'll lose it.
What kind of tumor you got?
I thought you know this already.
For the people.
No, we've done this already for the people.
Okay.
You don't remember anything.
Is it on your kidneys?
You gotta be kidding me. See, I already made that joke for you. All right, so no more, please. Lord Almighty. Yeah, I gotta go have surgery one of these days.
I am concerned for you. Your tumor. This is bad news. Bad news bears. It's a real movie. After midnight. Welcome to After Midnight.
I thought you were going to be quiet.
This is horrific.
We
But
don't even have any
excellent.
neighbors. I don't think anybody's beside us.
They might
I haven't heard anyone. It's really hard to record like at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I know. I'm tired.
You're
Yeah,
very
and you
tired.
forced us to do
You
this.
said we
I
got-
thought, what we need content, baby.
Well, first off, so in terms of
You made a poor
content,
decision.
so not only did we do our due diligence introducing greatness to people, we also kind of weeded out some poor games, seeded through the chaff, I guess you could say. How do you pronounce that? Lacrimosa?
Lacrimosa.
We didn't like that a lot.
No,
Really not at all. And I had to give that some thought because, of course, I love posting on social media something about something negative because then people, of course, who like it.
It gets more clicks.
Yes. I didn't realize that till now. Like if you say,
Or you can threaten to post negative and get lots of clicks. We're going to keep it running. We're
okay,
just going to keep it running.
you're just going to beat this to
We're
death,
just going to beat it to death.
kicking a dead duck.
Whack, whack.
Okay. With this, though, people will often say, well, I love this game, which I think that's fine. Like, I do that. If somebody hates on a game, I go, oh, well, I like it, and vice versa. But what I don't, you're going to have to help me on this because I don't understand. I honestly have problems trying to comprehend how somebody will like something that I truly dislike. Like, I purposely try to figure out what is it. Is it the theme? Is it the actual mechanisms? What is it that you're going, okay, I can tolerate this? So a good example of this, and we'll come back to Lacrimosa.
While Jerry's talking about this, Enrique, turn off that fan. I keep hearing it in the background.
Is that your fan?
That's my fan.
That's your CPAP fan.
I got to keep it going.
You have to sleep with the fan blowing in your face.
I like some white noise.
Well, I have a white
and
noise
oxygen.
machine. But what I notice is
Oh
that
my God, that's so much better.
it is. You're going to have a hard time editing that out.
For the first 5 minutes, ignore that fan that was running.
That was a fan.
Go
Not a
ahead.
fan.
I like how he
That
just
was
picked
Chad
up
in the back
all
on-
that.
The Chad fan.
He did with the Chad fan. He's hanging around.
It really is that if you turn that fan off while you're asleep, you wake up instantly. That's what
You woke me up instantly when you turned
Well,
it off
I don't
this morning.
get that. You'll be dead asleep snoring, and I'm like, it's time for you to get up. And I don't want to. I just walked over and turned the fan off, and you instantly woke up.
I like to have noise.
Well, I know, but how does that wake? How does the lack of noise wake you up? It's like, so it used to get me because it's like
going to the negative.
Well, no, I find it fascinating because like in all the action movies, that's the guy's always asleep in the jungle, and then when they hear something walking through and barely any noise, and they open their eyes, just the eye. So it's like nobody does that. Nobody sleeps that light. But with you, it's literally I heard you just snoring completely out of it, and as soon as I turned the fan off, your eyes open. So,
hello, Jerry.
like, how's that happen? Like, what is it in your brain that goes?
I don't know. I just have to have noise.
That's-
I don't understand it.
I really think you need to seek help with that because I don't think that's normal. I really don't.
I'm used to the chaos.
No, it's not chaos. I think that there's something going on. It mentally.
I can't
You really.
handle the silence.
If
If there's peace, I'm not comfortable.
it's just something weird. I mean, okay, but not to labor on that. But my point is that, for instance, we played Mosaic, which we played that with Bruno. And the first thing
Who we don't talk about.
we don't talk about. First thing that got me was, number one, we played the retail version, and we put out it felt like hundreds
Oh my God, it was awful.
of little chits, of those little discs all over the little hexagonal parts of the board. So anyways, as you're doing this tedious work, you're looking out and I can't see the colors on it, and the mosaic little thing, artwork, it blurs with me.
Yeah, it's hard to
So
look
the
at.
setup on this was forever. And then you seed all these 4 or 5 decks of cards. And then after you've done all this, to find out that basically this game with the board is a tile laying game. You're just laying the little tiles out there, and then you build your little city there, and then around the hexagonal city, you can build little bitty towns, and then you're just picking up the discs.
Which Bruno taught it to us very nice and thoroughly.
It was, yeah, there was not, but it's very basic too. It's not like it, I was expecting more.
The name, the theme, Mosaic, other than the art on the board, it's like, why?
I don't really know.
Why?
Well, but the main action is just build this stuff out there and buy these cards, and these cards have symbols on them that just run you up these tracks. It really felt like to me, and this is another game for which I despise, and I don't understand it, and it's another overproduced, moving up a track, putting stuff down game called Tapestry. Mm-hmm. So Tapestry and Mosaic to me are just two of the same realm of games where the effort that it takes to set this thing up is not worth what you get out of it. No,
by no means. I mean, sure, it's a 3-hour long game, but it's not an engaging 3-hour long game.
There was no I literally looked out and go, do I have enough of this resource to build a city? Yes or no? Okay, no. Okay, how do I get this resource? Okay, I take a work action. I get that resource. Now I'm going to build a city. I'm going to get this resource so I can get this card. Rinse, dry, repeat.
And it's got the you know how they sell it? The Terraform Mars thing where you play a card and it's got the little icons, prerequisites that it needs, and it has the icons on the bottom right corner. It's like, okay, I mean, that's fine, but it's very Terraforming Mars-ish. And if you get a certain amount of those, you fulfill these milestones and you earn points.
It's just
it's a points.
It's not even, I wouldn't even exactly compare it to Terraforming Mars, because I think Terraforming Mars is better.
In that regard.
Just simply because Terraforming Mars, there's tight resources. Like it's like, how am I going to get this thing? I have to sacrifice something.
But to me, as far as you have production, which you run, and then those cards is very Terraforming Mars-ish to me.
Yeah.
Although I do like the fact that in Terraforming Mars, when you run production, you get all of your stuff, not just one of the production. In this game, you have like rocks, taxation, food, all these different things. And when you run production, you don't just get to run all of them. You have to choose one. And then you run production. So then you refill on that.
But basically, the whole heart of this game, here's something that keys me in, is how does the game end? If how a game ends generally directs you in what you should be doing. So this game ends when you get certain cards out of the deck, the Empire scoring cards. So buying the cards is the key point of the game. The Mosaic, little placing your tiles out there, is just a means to an end to buy cards, which will give you points, which will let you do more things. The civilization game for which you buy cards is called Nations. That's the one you want. And if you're glutton for punishment and want something a little more complicated, you do Through the Ages. But Nation is the game that you want. It's much tighter, has your own little engines, feed your people. Everything that Mosaic tries to do, Nations does it better, except Mosaic tacks on this board that you have to set up and put all this junk out there, and then this lay down tiles. Again, why in the world are people freaking out about this game, much less paying hundreds of dollars for a deluxe edition with minis? I just don't get it.
More like Mosaic.
So here's the thing. If you like Mosaic,
you're in.
I would like to know.
Interesting person.
Exactly.
I reined myself in just then. I reined myself in because I was going to say something that's harsh and cruel.
Because I've never seen it rain.
I was.
Huh? CCR.
Have you ever seen the rain?
Yeah.
Mosaic, about, I don't know.
2 hours in.
About 2 hours in, I'm like, is this it? This is the game?
This should have been.
And what I felt bad for. This is what I felt bad for. Bruno was into it.
I think Bruno is one of those people that he enjoyed.
Bruno Barone.
He enjoyed my company so much.
Our listener from Vancouver.
Our company.
He would have just played anything.
It's just, but I mean, and we finished the game. That will say something. This is a game we finished, because once you invest 2 hours, you might as well go invest 3 hours into the game and finish it. And I will say, like, towards the third hour of the game, things did finally ramp up, but it took forever for those empire. So they have these empire scoring cards in these various decks of the game. So you have your buildings that you build, you have your population, you have your technologies, you have your taxation, and they have these scoring cards on all of those. You have to trigger 3 of those, and there's only 1 in each deck. So you have to literally go through all of these decks, 3 out of the 4 or 5 that are there, to trigger the end of the game. It went on way too long.
I have never in a game tried to hurry to try to trigger the end for no other reason than to be done to it.
I was exhausted.
Buying cards that I did not need just to pray, please let that scoring card come out.
And then again, there's another way to end the game is there's like these different tiles on the side that are like these milestone things of various natures and the wonders. If I think 2 of those sets of tiles, the wonders or the milestones or the card collections, if you collect 6 of a particular tag on a card, you get this milestone, and you can get rid in the game by getting rid of 2 of those 3 or 4. I don't know.
So
it was super long.
So with all the hate,
without the interesting aspects, and you can't even battle. I have a problem with civilization games where you can't war against each other,
because that's what it's about.
I mean, literally, that's been civilization through the ages up until now,
right? Which thank God there's no wars going on now. I mean,
thank goodness.
Thank goodness. So my point being is that if you are one of those people who do like Mosaic, please send us an email, boardgamesnobs@gmail.com, or you're in our Facebook, comment, whatever. I am interested in hearing if you can take the time to kind of lay out what it is that you like about the game. I'm not asking you to defend the game. I just want to know if you genuinely like it, if it's a game that you're always willing to play, if it's not just something that you've played and enjoyed once. I'm saying this is a game that you thoroughly enjoy. Lay it out there for me, what it is that you like about this game specifically, and how it is that you get around the long setup and the tedious actions and all that. Just because I'm interested in seeing what it is that people draw. And if you do like it, what I suggest is, number 1, if you want a really good Civ game, one of the best with cards, Nations. But if you want a game where you're just putting down tiles and something similar to that, there's an excellent game called Endeavor that's very similar to that. That is got expansions and all types of various things. It's wonderful. That's something you should try. But anyways, that's so Mosaic.
Rob Greco of our Facebook group said didn't like Mosaic at all. Just another point-to-point movement civilization game of capturing territory. So boring.
Okay, yes, I agree with him.
We agree.
But I want somebody who disagrees to explain it to me.
What's so exciting about this game?
Right.
Maybe it's the only one they've played.
I doubt that. That doesn't make sense. Who's now?
It's a weird one to start off with.
That's not it. I'm saying that's not it. So either way.
Enrique, what do you think of Mosaic?
It's just, I don't like the setup of the game. It's just
a freaking 30 to 45 minute setup.
Yeah, it's too tedious for just a generic gameplay. It's just, I kind of feel bad for it, to be honest.
So certainly, we talked about comparing it to Clash of Cultures, but it's not even. It's not
the
even fact
Clash.
That they're both Civ games. That's the only common thing there is to them. I mean, obviously, I'd certainly play Clash of Cultures over this. It's the other game that kind of rubbed us the wrong. Well, let me stick with the theme of the tile laying. That Dorfromantik.
Oh my God!
No, that's a very basic entry level game.
Shoot me in the head.
But okay, I understand why you found that boring. But for a basic entry level game, it was fine. But it was that I don't understand why people do like the simplicity. I understand liking simplicity. I understand liking, a lighter game for the family or for kids. But what I don't like is that a lot of people truly enjoy these simple Carcassonne level games where it is just a type of Carcassonne. You pick this tile, you lay it down. Pick this tile, lay it down. Now, we played Planet Unknown, which is different in the fact that it's like a Tetris game. You are picking up tiles, But everything that game does adds just a little bit. I wasn't blown away by it, but it was certainly an example of a game that offered a little bit more. In Planet Unknown, everybody has their planets. You can flip the boards over, have asymmetrical planets, and you have this little Lazy Susan thing that spins around. And
that was very nice.
Which was a neat gimmick.
It's a very nice gimmick.
And in this little gimmick is all those various tiles. And when you're the main player, you spin the thing around, and whichever one that you want, you select it, and then everybody else, their little arrows on their player board point to part of that Lazy Susan. And I
think it puts Susan in the pejorative, though.
Well, no.
Why is she lazy?
Well, because she doesn't want to get up, and she just wants to spin the little thing around.
She just wants to turn on a merry-go-round.
Right. So you just have to take whatever tile that's there out of the two and just deal with it. You have to place that tile. And of course, as you're placing stuff, you're running up on tracks. You're trying to place your tiles just right. You're moving your little rovers around to collect the pods and get rid of asteroids. And if you could fill up your planet just right, then you score these victory points. It's very basic in the presentation of it. But it does something a little bit different. It's quick and it's pleasant. And yes, there's some scoring. And yes, there can be asymmetrical stuff. Planet Unknown, I see why people like that. Now, that's not a game that I particularly like, but I understand why people enjoy it. I understand that. That's what I'm comparing, is that there's some games where I simply do not know what are you getting from this.
I think what you get from Planet Unknown that you don't get from other games, like a 3-hour-long version of Mosaic, is you literally see the progress. It's on a track. You're running up the track. I think that's a thing. It's like people like to see and feel their progress they're making in the game. And that's visualized by these tech tracks you're running up. And it's so simple, but yet it works. And it works on people as a mechanism that they're able to just, I play this. It has this symbol. Let me go over here. Oh, that symbol matches over here on this tech track. So every time I play that symbol on the board, I get to run up that symbol on the tech track. So simple, such a simple thing, but yet you enjoy it. Oh yeah, which one of these 4 or 5 or 6 symbols I forgot, and you run those up, and I'm with you. This is not a game I will ever buy, but if
it was pleasant,
we were here playing at a BGG, and somebody said, "Hey, you want to play this?" and we didn't have nothing else to do. Sure, I don't have any problems with it.
So I did realize something, and I think it was playing all these various games that did this one thing in such a short period of time. I realized something, and you might agree with this.
I might.
So
it'd be up to me.
Whenever you're certain games we've played, such as Hamburg and all these various ones where you're using cards or other things, and you're seeing that progress, and that's the point I want to key in on. Whenever I'm building something, I'm putting it here, or I've got this card or this tile, and I'm putting it here, and it goes in this spot. And it makes sense. In Hamburg, you build a foundation, then you put the house down, then you get the bonus. If you want to use it, you put this thing on it to let you know that you've used it. And this other thing, okay, and Planet Unknown, you put the tile down. When you put the tile down, you go up these tracks. You up these tracks, you activate these things. You can do these things. You pick the stuff up, you put it over here. Everything has a place. Everything makes sense. In games like Mosaic, it's, here's this card. I have this card. I purchased this card. Okay, now how do I use it? Well, you can just use it for free. You can use it. Just use it when you want it.
You have to interpret it.
Okay, so when I read it and I go, okay, so where do I put it? Well, just put it down. I just lay it down. I end up having 20-something cards, and I'm sometimes playing, some of them not, just laying them out, and they don't represent anything other than so-called technologies and buildings and other things, and really, they're just kind of scattered. And then I look at the board, and where am I putting? Everything is scattered, and it's not. I've realized when things aren't in their place, like the armies and stuff, and things are just going out there, it makes me irritated to where it actually does detract some from the game. But when I look at something that has a lot of moving parts and it's kind of everywhere, but yet everything has its spot, such as Hamburg, where this money goes here, things go here, this goes on your board, this does this. When you build, you don't have a place to build your tableau, but it makes sense. You build your cards out like this. Everything goes down in its place and it looks right. Other than having a bunch of cards scattered everywhere, a bunch of icons, a bunch of various things that you're looking out at. I don't like that at all, and I think it detracts from the game. And I think that most people don't realize that until they're playing some scatterbrained game where you just got stuff everywhere and it's scattered, how smooth it is when you've got a game. I'm just going to use brass because it's my favorite. When you've got the big board, all your stuff, which you don't need that board to place all your stuff on and have all those icons to remind you how much everything these coal mines cost, but it's nice. And you stack them on all there. And where do they go? They go here. And you do this. And you put your cards here. And you do. I like that. It's organized. It's tidy. It makes sense.
Especially when you go from one game that's not that to a game that is that, such as Lacrimosa.
So Lacrimosa, here's my problem with it. And it's a different problem. Because Lacrimosa was not that it was so scattered. Lacrimosa was, to me, plagued by the fact that, number one, I'm not a music person. You're using terms I don't understand, things that aren't normal. When's the last time you've said the word requiem in everyday life and know what that means?
Well, every time I dream.
And so the theme of it's you're going out and hiring people and you need memories to help figure out how to compose this last symphony. That's not right. The theme is very interesting and evocative. I appreciate that. The box art is very neat, but the box art doesn't necessarily match what you have. You have a very dry Euro components. The fonts were hard for me to read. The color
I couldn't read nothing.
Wasn't very eye-catching. The icons didn't make sense.
Horrible.
And when the icons don't make sense, then I'm having to look at this reference and go, okay, this. And it finally dawns on me that the rule book is telling me how to play the game, but doesn't give me what I need beforehand, like why or what. It's just saying, okay, you can do this and it does this. But why would I want to do that? It doesn't tell me. But then later in the rule book, after you've already taught me the game, the mechanics, then it goes, okay, well, you do this and this and this is, well, no, overview the game first and then tell me how to play it. Like, give me an idea of what I'm trying to do. There was nothing new to this game. Everything was old mechanics that have just been rethemed and reskinned with this other theme. That's fine. I can understand how a theme can make a game. That's many games. But when you reskin and retheme something, figure out what makes a game smooth, what makes it attractive and organized, and do that. Don't just add to it. And this game just takes the normal Euro vibe and adds to it. So people are going, I love Lacrimosa. That's good for you. I understand it. And maybe it is appealing because of the theme or some other reason regarding it.
The theme doesn't come through to me. Oh, I love music. It had nothing to do. I'm playing a card. That card, I can either purchase more cards or travel or put a thing on a note on the bottom of the board. And okay, that gets me some like sort of area majority. The theme came through not one bit to me in this game, other than the art and the story that the rule book was trying to tell you poorly, by the way, while trying to teach you the rules. It's like, just tell me the rules and let's not be so artsy fartsy with the rules, because you ruin the rules.
Which is weird for me because this was a DeVere game, and every DeVere game I've played so far I've really enjoyed, and the rule book has been very just spot on. I don't know why this game, for me, this is their first miss with me with DeVere Lacrimosa. I'm shocked that I've almost bought this game thinking, now this is one I'm going to really like.
So who was this about? Mozart?
Yeah,
Mozart. That's right.
Amadeus.
Rock me, Amadeus.
Either way, so we've played.
I'll be back.
We've played some bad games. I say bad games we didn't like here, but we've also played some excellent games. And we played some old ones. I say this, the same thing goes for Mosaic as it does Lacrimosa. If you love that game, email us, let us know exactly what it is, why that game appeals to you. And I'm wondering if people are is it people who haven't played a lot of games and they've not played something that is that smooth, and then you're just playing that first. I'm puzzled.
I don't know. I think it goes to our previous podcast of you saying that just some people just don't want the exception. So lots of people are just happy to play a game.
I think that's true.
And when this is what happened, and I don't know if I said this on the previous 2 or 3 or not. We left we folded up Lacrimosa 2 or 3 rounds in because we're like, I just don't care. That's the thing. And that also happened in New York City, the Stefan Feld game. We literally played 2 or 3 complete rounds with Bruno on that one. And Bruno's like, because we were ready, me and Jerry were ready to quit early on. Bruno's like, I want to play a couple of rounds. We played a solid 3 or 4 rounds of that game. He's like, okay, I've played it. Yeah, it sucks. With Lacrimosa, we went from playing a couple of rounds. We're like, if I'm not enthralled, I'm like not going to waste my time in the next hour to hour and a half playing this game. Let's move on and save ourselves some time. Time is fleeting. You don't get your time back, Enrique.
Yeah.
I know. Don't worry about it, though.
But I do worry about it because the older you get, the more you worry about it.
Yeah, you're right.
You're going to die.
So we were literally walking out of the gaming room, and this Bruce Shackelford had Hamburg set up.
Rusty's brother.
Rusty Shackelford's brother.
Rusty.
Thank you for that whisper. And he's like, Jerry spotted it. I was walking out the door because I was so like disenchanted with Lacrimosa. And Jerry's like, oh yeah, this is one of those games of that line of collection of Stefan Feld that had the big Kickstarter, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I've always wanted to play this, which is a reskin of Bruges, which I've always wanted to play, but I never did. We sat down. He taught that game in like 5 to 10 minutes. Everything made sense. There were player aids that made sense. And bam, we were off and running to the races. The game made sense. It felt good. It was bright and colorful. I knew what I was doing. And it was just a solid game in a matter of moments. And I knew that and felt that in my bones within moments of playing it. Lacrimosa, within several prolonged moments of playing it, I knew I didn't feel that. So I'm not going to finish.
I've noticed also, and you've preached about having a player aid. Like every game should have this player aid that at least to some extent gets you down through the main actions. And I did notice that as Mr. Shackelford was teaching Hamburg, here's these little 2 cards that have the various phases. And it was weird. There's 2 cards that you could look at. Goes you down this phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, walks you down, turn it over. Okay, go down through the rest. And then showed in-game scoring on the back and then all the actions. And when you glance at these cards, they don't make a lot of sense. But as he's walking down explaining the rules, every one of these icons made sense. Mm-hmm. The symbols of them. Okay, so you do this, you do this. Okay, gotcha.
You're like, I kind of understand.
And when we were done, I go, okay, this is an excellent player aid. This is a great one. This makes sense. And then after that, the next day we come back. I've not read the rule book. I was taught this game. I sit down, I set it up, I flip through the rule book to make sure and catch one small rule mistake that he made, put the game together, and then the rest of the game I taught from that player aid. Going, here's this, here's the addendum, how you can look up cards. There you got to go, take off. And we played it, and it was wonderful. And it's because the game lends itself to this. Everything has its place where it goes, and it makes sense. You want to play a building? Well, you got to have a foundation. You have worker, play the worker, matches the card, put down the foundation. Pay for the building, put it down. Everything makes sense. If your game is not intuitive, then it's going to cause the players to have to really focus on trying to play the game rather than experience and enjoy the game. Whereas a good game, all you need is just brief reminders. What phase am I in? What am I doing now? Not having to worry about the rules and go, am I doing this? Am I doing that? No. Do this, do that. It should just be completely intuitive.
And if your game is too complicated for player aids, maybe you need to pull back on it a little bit.
And most games aren't too complicated for player aids. I think people
they just don't provide them.
They don't think that it will be necessary.
It makes me insane with anger.
I understand that.
I want to know my main actions, and I want to know what these symbols mean.
Right. And it's kind of a weird. It's kind of odd, but so. What was the other one that we were talking about in connection with it? We enjoyed Hamburg altogether, which is now probably my new favorite Feld.
But then we went to New York City, which was the other Feld in that line of games.
That was awful.
Bomb. An absolute bomb. We said Stefan Feld is a hit and miss designer.
I still have Trajan I've not played. That's supposed to be the golden goose. That's supposed to be his best one, so be interested in seeing that.
We'll give it a go.
So between that and we played in the poker tournament. Enrique did. I did really good. Enrique did excellent
he
this
did
year.
Better.
Knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, he got a 500 chip this time.
People don't realize a poker tournament is this little, not is that for actual money, but it's a little tournament that they host at BGG where anywhere from 100 to 300 people go in and play. And as you get knocked out, they give you a chip. So if you get knocked out on the first round, you get $1 chip, then 5, then 25s, 50, and so forth, so on. And so it's kind of a thing. The higher up chip you have, the better off. The longer you've lasted, I think at 10,000 chips, the final table.
I think so because I saw a chick with like a yellow 1,000 chip.
A chick?
A woman.
Thank you.
Chick.
Thank
whatever.
Oh my goodness.
Please.
You're such an animal.
I don't know.
What is wrong with you?
Don't
I'm trying
worry.
to teach you
Why
respect.
can you not just
Be civilized?
Look at that. Look at that
No.
game right there.
What are you
Votes
talking
for
about?
women.
Yeah, look at that.
We're
Sitting
gonna-
on the table.
We're going to play that next.
He's like, chicks
you're gonna-
have votes now.
You're going to learn about
goodness.
suffrage.
No, don't teach me how to be civilized.
We can't. It's already too late.
Oh, no.
What was your last poker chip? Because you were in that one for a good long while.
500.
Was it another 500?
No, it wasn't another 500.
You did? This is
Like-
your first 500?
Yeah, this is my first 500.
Nice.
Because my highest before this one was 100.
That's cool.
So,
So you hung in there.
yeah. I hung
Proud
in.
of him.
Good job.
Proud of him. So good job there. Y'all got to play Heat. I know you both enjoyed that.
Yeah, he was enjoyable.
Heat was very fun.
Nice. I knew you'd like
I
that.
like Heat a lot. It's Formula D, but with strategy, card playing, and it's just way better altogether.
So I'm glad y'all like that.
I'm exhausted. We're good. We're good. We can end this now.
You're exhausted. You're the
I'm
one that
exhausted. I know.
10 minutes ago said, we
did.
got it.
I
We're going to
did.
do it.
We've done it. We've done it.
Tomorrow we got to do a mega game.
Yeah, we
We're
got
gonna do a
like
mega
40
game.
minutes in.
God, you didn't even you didn't even do this for 30 minutes. Oh, I'm so tired.
No, this is 40 minutes.
Well, we can end it now if you want to, or we can keep going.
No.
I'm good all night.
No, you're not.
Just because I'm tired don't mean I can't keep going.
I guarantee as soon as I turn this fan back on,
Oh, that sweet, sweet noise will knock me right
I'll
out.
just unplug it over.
his
from
life
over there
support.
and-
That's his life support. I'm playing.
The fan goes,
sorry,
I'm
Enrique.
on.
Sorry, Enrique. We
We gotta knock him
we're
out.
Put
good.
him under.
I'm good to go. I am good to go.
got.
I'll put it all the way. I'll just turn it on over there, pointing.
We
in
can't put your
direction.
husband under for surgery. I have what he needs. None of the medication we gives him knocks him out.
Oh, you know what?
Turn the
Now-
fans on.
Where's the
Actually, you know what?
fans?
Now
It's
that I
white noise
think about
machine.
it,
Okay, what it
we'll just anytime we want to get him on a plane, we'll just turn on a fan and we'll just
I like the noise of planes,
really.
but at the same time, the noise reminds me those engines could blow up at any moment.
Oh God!
I'm not worried about my little white noise fan blowing up.
But the strange thing is, that's more likely to kill you than the plane.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
literally, statistically. You know how many fires I've been to that have been caused by little bitty devices and just like that? The chances of that catching fire and burning you to death are 10 times higher than a plane
But
crash.
what it goes back to for me, it's a childhood thing. When I was a young lad, we had this metal fan. You know, those like a square, just a square box fan, right?
Right.
But it was made of
Yeah.
metal because back in the day, we made things out of metal instead of just plastic.
Yes.
We made them to last,
Okay.
and by we, I mean the people.
Yes.
Well,
and you
the
got to feed
little-
your people.
The grates on it, you know, that keep you from poking your fingers in there and chopping your fingers off.
Yeah.
Great on
Well,
your
like-
nerves.
Mhm.
They had like a screw missing, and so the fan was on, and that screw missing on the upper left corner. It go. tick, 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 tick. It just rattled all night long, and that thing just rattled me to sleep. And that I've ever since then, I've just if you got a air conditioner or a fan or something make some sort of noise like that, I'm out,
So,
baby.
because of a loose, screw loose.
Oh, screw loose.
I think that's an apt description of what's
It
wrong.
will knock
With
me
you.
out.
Yes.
It's just a soothing sound.
But you're not worried about the fan catching fire.
Why
No.
would I be worried about the fan catching fire?
I just
You worry too much.
I know I'm not worried.
You left the light on last night saying, in case someone comes in, we can see them attacking us.
I'm pretty sure that was
That's
made
what
as a
you
joke.
said.
No,
That is what
I
you
know
said.
I said that, but I don't worry about it. I'm saying that in comparison to you worrying about a plane crash, it's statistically more likely that you're going to be set on fire by a short circuit appliance by your head.
Yeah.
And also more likely that we are going to be raided by somebody who wants to fight us.
Philander us.
Yes.
Fight us.
Which
Well,
is
Enrique's by the door. He can take care of
Enrique
him.
doesn't wake up. Somebody kicked the door in.
Enrique, please wake up if someone kicks
That's
the door
us.
in.
That's,
No, I'm not gonna
it
lie.
would be up to me to defend us. Y'all
Yeah.
would be
What are you
worthless.
going to do? What are you going to do that's so fancy?
Pugilistic skills.
You say that and you've never fought no one.
I used to box.
Who? The bag?
People.
No, you didn't.
My dad was a
You've never
kickboxer.
boxed anyone.
I sure have.
Except your ears.
I have.
He boxed the little children that he has.
I was
Yeah.
Bam!
Bam!
Of course I boxed. You don't need to.
Enrique cracked himself up just
Enrique thought that
then.
was
I don't
funny.
even know what he did.
I don't know either.
He just said bam and started laughing.
Huh?
It's too late. It's after dark for Enrique.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm just making words up now, even though that's not
You're not
uncommon.
You're not a. You don't make up words.
Enrique, have you ever fought with anyone?
No.
What about verbally even?
Call of
Not
Duty.
even verbally. You know that one game, that
You
insulting
and
game?
Jerry were fighting quite a bit today.
We didn't fight at all.
Yeah, we're arguing quite a bit.
I didn't argue with
Getting a
him
little
at
heated.
all.
Did we argue?
I didn't say
I was
nothing.
very uncomfortable.
I'm pretty sure we probably like poked at
What?
each other, but like,
you are poking
but
at
we
each
didn't
other?
Like on
like
Facebook.
fight.
Poked you.
Send it to poke.
Welcome back. I'll poke
Rustle
you
up
back.
a poke.
Let's play some Farmville.
There we go. I need some veggies.
Got them veggies coming. You don't remember that? That was a thing back in like 2008. Farmville. Everybody was on Facebook,
2008.
Oh, yeah.
and
I think I
everybody
remember
farmed.
that.
But it was in real time, so you had like 40 minutes for your okra to
Well, it's
come
like
in.
Heyday. Heyday still kind of got that going
And
on.
people, I don't do anything on Facebook.
I don't know. It's not on Facebook.
Bunch of-
Heyday's an app.
Bunch of boomers.
It is a boomer thing.
They love them apps.
What a bunch of boomers.
Appetizers. 2 for $20.
All right. I think that's it.
Yeah. It's
All right, so
Tapped
we
out.
got to go to bed so you can get up and do the
Tapped out. I'm
metagame.
exhausted.
Literally 20 minutes ago, we got a podcast. We got
You know what? Don't threaten me. I will stay up.
You won't make
We will
it.
make the worst
No.
podcast ever just for me to stay up.
Dice Tower all night. They're doing that marathon. Wouldn't that be a
36-hour marathon. We're going to podcast for 36 hours.
Who watches?
Could you imagine podcasting for 36 hours
I could
straight?
do it.
yeah.
You know you
It
could
would
do
be
it.
tough. But you would have to set like some parameters, like what's the longest pause you're allowed?
No, you just
No.
talk.
You just work. You just keep moving.
Have you not heard of filibustering?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
But nobody does that anymore.
Yes, they do.
Barely.
No, they do it all the
They're
time.
about to outlaw it.
They're not going to outlaw
They're
it.
trying to.
They're not
Why?
going to.
You know what filibuster is, Enrique?
I do not.
Teach
kinda
him the law.
It's kind of like Ghostbusters. But so when they want to pass a law and someone doesn't want it to pass and they don't think that they can actually stop the votes, they get the floor, they have the right to speak, and they just keep talking and they don't stop talking. You basically they'll read from the phone book. As long as they're talking,
It has nothing to do with anything.
they can get up there and say, my daughter one time, and they just do it. As long as they're talking, they keep it
I
going.
go A, B, C,
They
D,
can run out the
E,
clock.
F, G.
And that's why
It's literally ridiculous.
it's kind of ridiculous, but it's content. So
They're content creators.
Content creators. So
This is,
we could probably that would be the perfect
That
job
would
for
be
us.
tough. That
If they would be
tough.
like, if we could be
I
stand-in
wouldn't have to
filibusterers.
talk that much.
Stand-
I know Jerry could.
Stand-in filibusterers.
Jerry's a talker.
Show up and talk until we're all right.
Yeah, he has big enough ego to talk about himself for a
Shots
good
I
couple
rarely
of
talk about myself.
Huh?
Shots fired.
I talk about other people. Dylan didn't ask Chad
he
nothing.
demeans other people.
He
He
would
doesn't
mean-
talk about himself.
No,
he just
if-
demeans
I
everyone around
didn't
him.
No, he would
demean
be.
anybody.
He'd be talking about himself.
What's
at least for-
demeaning of this?
I talk with Chad was delightful.
Chad was delightful.
Bruno and I.
Bruno's delightful. But
Best friends.
all of them recognize Jerry's flaws finally.
No, they don't.
And they're on
That Timothy
hashtag
Bauer.
Team Gaby.
He's even he.
Tim and Betsy.
Yeah. See, they all yeah.
Patreons, by the way. Thank you.
Good
very much. We
people.
appreciate that.
We played.
That's what we appreciates about you.
We played Crescent City.
That's what he appreciates about words
and
to you.
Tim blew us out of the water because
Crescent
you may have
City
gave us
Cargo.
the wrong.
Still a good
You taught it
game.
kinda wrong.
Still a
That's
good
okay.
game.
But I
I
enjoyed.
didn't teach it wrong.
Yeah, you told us some things that were wrong.
No,
That's
I
okay. Yeah, you
didn't.
did a few.
No, I
Look,
didn't.
you don't have to be defensive.
Wait,
I'm
what?
not.
What
I'm
game
just
was
telling you I
this?
didn't.
But I'm saying that's factually incorrect. But that's fine. There's things that you said that were not correct. They were contrary to the rule
literally
book.
just read from the rule book.
No, you said...
I didn't say anything wrong.
Yes, you did. That's okay.
What did I say?
You told me wrong. That's okay.
I didn't.
Yes, you
You
did.
can't even say it because, I didn't.
Yet you said those workers, do you lose them when you put them back? I think you lose them. I don't know. I'm asking you. And I said, well, I think you go back down here. Yeah, okay. And then later, when you inquired again, everyone's like, well, you had the rule book. Asking, I was like, no, Gaby, and you're like acting like you didn't tell me that. Yes, but that's fine.
Okay, maybe I did forget that.
That's okay. So that's all right.
All right.
And did I freak out? No, because it's fine.
This time you didn't freak out.
No, I didn't freak out.
But here's the thing. The reason you didn't freak out is because when you asked me a rule, I didn't like holler and scream at you for not remembering the rule and telling you, didn't you just read the rule? Whereas when you read rules to us, that's what you do to us.
No, that happens because I tell you the rule and you don't pay attention. And then you ask me right after I've just told you.
But why do you get so angry?
Because you will ask something that's clearly printed and you refuse to read it.
But why? No, I read it and I don't understand it. Why does that make you angry?
But you understand it when somebody reads it right back to you.
No, I don't.
Yes.
No, I don't.
Yes,
I need to see it in action.
You don't see it in action?
I don't get lots of things when I just hear about them. I need to see it in action.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I'm sure you could.
I understand it because
been Team Gaby this whole trip, by the way, and I appreciate that.
Because you'll read something to me, and I won't understand it until you do it. Mm-hmm. Like I can understand where Gaby's coming from.
So you don't
read
point. Instructions?
It's not. We can't read instructions. It's just
I'm a visual person, not an auditory person.
But you
it's a comprehension thing. Yeah, I don't comprehend things very well.
We can't comprehend what we're
probably because you got that fan going, fan blowing in you all the time. Maybe if you didn't have so much auditory stuff going on,
you can.
Then maybe it would help with your comprehension.
The subject,
no, I'm saying that is a clinical thing. Maybe you have an auditory. Maybe you need to get your ears checked, both of you, is what I'm saying.
So you're saying we're flawed because we don't understand every rule.
No, you're saying it. You said you don't understand. You both said it. Did you not just hear yourself?
Why is that something bad?
Clinically?
Why
that you can't understand things that you
hear? Do you have
hear?
any flaws?
Yes. Why are you changing
what are
the
your
subject?
Flaws?
I'm saying that you don't understand.
I have flaws every night.
That it's a clinical thing. If you hear something and cannot understand it, you don't think that could be a thing? Maybe you have a cockroach in your ear or something.
Maybe it's a badly written rule book when you read it, and I don't understand it.
Every rule book?
No. Most.
The vast majority.
Vast majority.
Okay. So I'm just saying, perhaps maybe go to an audiologist or somebody who looks in the ears. Clean your ears out. I have a scope. Put one of those scopes in your ears and clean out the earwax. That could simply be it. You both could just be suffering from a lack of comprehension due to foreign objects.
Enrique's just staring at you.
All right. I do not know how. This is the last time I'll let y'all talk me into this. Well, we got to record. Let's record. And then I sit down here. And
the only
person who did it was Gaby.
It was just a suggestion.
You were all about. There wasn't a suggestion.
It was just a suggestion. I was like, hey, it'd be cool if
it was all Gaby anyways. Don't try to
you.
bring me into this.
It was all Gaby.
Come down to this.
Thank you, Enrique.
I try to go to bed.
All right, listen.
And then you got...
Y'all are going to make us late for the mega game.
What time is it?
What do you mean?
It's 2 o'clock.
I haven't been
what time
talking.
Is it, Enrique?
It's 2 o'clock. I literally said that.
Oh, my God.
It's almost like 2 o'clock.
But can I see what you're saying?
I said it.
Hold up your fingers and demonstrate it to me.
It's 2 o'clock.
Not those two fingers. How dare you?
It's 2 o'clock.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode.
Thank you for listening. Please feel free to email us, and I'll read your emails to Gaby and explain them to him so that he can understand them.
I need to perform the charades.
boardgamesnobs, gmail.com.
All right. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm Gaby.
This is Jerry.
Thank you for tolerating this episode of the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.